Welcome to the Teachers Impact Podcast, or better yet known as The Tip, where teachers can come to master their craft, use their voice, and enhance student learning. Welcome to the Teachers Impact Podcast, better yet known as The Tip. This is episode 75. I'm excited to kick off our differentiated instruction series with you today. In this episode, we're diving into the essential topic of leveraging data to initiate differentiating instruction. While data might not sound like the most thrilling subject, it gives us the power to provide valuable insights and guide your teaching decisions effectively. So let's get right into it. The first thing to do is to look at your whole class numbers. So if you have a data set, look at your whole class number. You can use your diagnostic data set that you've taken an assessment, a teacher given assessment. Look at that data. Look at your whole class numbers. For example, when you're looking at this whole class data, you need to ask yourself the question, what is the average of the class, or where did most of your students fall? Did they fall in the higher, middle, or lower percentile? This is for the administrators out there. If you're looking at a whole school, then you can broaden your scope to look at school-wide, grade level, and class-wide. All right, the second thing to do, or second thing to look at, is what are some of the good things or strengths the data is showing. When you look at the strengths first, then you're able to think about the things that you did to achieve those results. What did you do to get those results? Okay, those are the strengths that you're looking at. For example, did you provide more direct or small group instruction? Did you zone in on that skill area for a period of time? So once you identify the things that you did that got you those results, then transfer that to an area that, based on the data, you know needs to be worked on. All right, so number 3 is to think about and look at what are some of the things that need to be worked on based on the data. When looking in this area, you need to choose the one area that will give you the big bang for your buck. For example, in literacy, it could be fluency, phonics, or decoding. In math, it could be math facts or problem solving. So based on the data, you would need to decide what is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck to get those results that you're looking for. Okay. Fourth, you want to group your students based on where they fell in the data. So organize your students into groups according to their performance level. You can have separate groups for high achievers, middle performers, and low achievers. However, once those students are in those groups, don't leave it there, because that's not going to be effective over a long-term period. What you need to do is to do some heterogeneous grouping, okay, as this can be particularly beneficial. So heterogeneous grouping, meaning that you're doing a mixture of high, low, medium, high, and so on and so forth. So heterogeneous grouping involves mixing lower and middle performing students to facilitate peer learning. However, I do think that heterogeneous grouping benefits students the most, so I will mix the lower and middle performing groups together. Because sometimes what can happen if you pair a high student with a low student, there can be some frustration there when they're working together. Okay, fifth is to come up with a plan of action that you will implement. It must be simple enough to be implemented, but also be able to get you the results that you're looking for. Sometimes after we look at the data and we see, wow, there's a lot that needs to be worked on, we have a lot to do, we come up with these exorbitant plans or just really too much sometimes. So to me, I like to keep it simple, come up with a plan that I know I'm going to follow through with. Once I implement that plan, and there's been some time that has passed by, for me, I say a month, because as a classroom teacher, trying to look at weekly or bi-weekly, it's a lot too much when you're by yourself. So I look at it on a monthly basis, And once I see those results, then I go back in and start the process all over again. Okay, so these are just some of the basic ways to look at your data. That is the starting point for simple data analysis. All right, so some key takeaways from this episode is number 1, understand your class numbers. Number 2, highlight the strengths. Number 3, identify areas of improvement. Number 4, group students strategically. Number 5, develop an action plan. Number 6, know that it is a continuous improvement cycle. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to check out the website, teachersimpact.net. If you found this content helpful, please share, favorite, and rate on your favorite podcast app. It helps the show to grow, reach more teachers, and have an impact. You can email me at teachersimpacteducation@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram at Teachers Impact Podcast. We are also now on Threads, and that is Teachers Impact Podcast, so you can check us out there too. And again, thank you for listening. Happy learning and growing.